come at any particular time. You don't need to tell me in advance. You don't need to email me, remind me, whatever. Just show up and we'll be doing something, okay? Every day, okay? So we can do as little or as much as you want. And yeah, I mean, I'm afraid I'm going to need to get my battery. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. That's fine. You bail. That's fine. Totally fine. I mean, come back early, come back late, stay until 12:15. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Yeah, no, I'm totally fine with that. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. Yeah, do what you need to do, especially, I mean, although I think that this is important. I mean, obviously you guys' number one concern is academics. But what I do want to, so just make sure that that is something that you're concerned with. So if it's lunchtime, just walk out. Okay, come back whenever, come back in 30, come back in 20, come back in 15, I don't care. Okay, so yeah, just feel free to do that. So let's see, where was I? Yeah, I mean, are any of you guys excited about the interview? Excited? Okay, a couple excited. A couple people, anybody who's just not, yeah, it's okay. Anybody scared? No? I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, most of the time, including myself, I have always gotten rather worked up about interviews. I mean, I will tell you, and I mean, not to put any sort of pressure on this, I mean, you guys have already made it further than other individuals that applied for this very same opportunity. Okay, pat yourselves on the back for that. Something in your application caught the eye of the individuals that were going through the applications. Okay, you made it over the first barrier, but I mean, you're not there yet. Okay, so it's important to be able to really do a good job on this interview. Okay, like I said, I always got all worked up, but I mean, I hate to say it, right now you guys are interviewing for, at the very least, some extremely good experience as young people. Okay, I mean, you guys are going to be you're going to be getting this opportunity to be working in an environment where typically only old people are working. Okay, you probably by far will be the youngest person by far. Okay, I mean, there's pitfalls to that. I mean, don't act like an idiot and give a bad name to all the people that are your age for the rest of their lives, and don't perpetuate any stereotypes about young people. But anyway, so I mean, you're getting a great opportunity, and that's the great thing about internships. And I think it's really valuable, and it definitely gives an opportunity for young people to really get some good experience that will really give them a leg up. Okay, now if you are fortunate enough to get this internship, and whatever you do there, you think that that's just going to be the most amazing thing, after about 2 weeks it sucks, I hate to say it, continue to stick it out, because still you're getting that experience. And that's the sort of thing that not only now would be very useful to talk about in an interview, but at the same time, it would be something that you'll be able to easily mention, and it would be worthwhile mentioning in interviews easily within the next 5 years that you may have. This is good stuff, okay? So you want to get this, okay? So a couple things that I'll just mention. I'm not a lifelong teacher. Prior to this, I worked for a very long time in something known as logistics. I ran something called distribution centers. At one time, I had more than 2,000 people working for me in 3 different buildings. Okay, the last building that I worked in alone was 1.5 million square feet. It's 7 of these buildings. And it was loaded with close to $500 of product that ultimately I was responsible for. Okay, people that worked for me all fed up to me. So I was responsible for that. But I mean, in doing that, I have done interviews at different careers or different points in my life for hourly people, supervisors, managers. I mean, I have done so many interviews. I also been a part of many interviews. I have interviewed for a number of jobs. I've not spent the entire time at one particular company. I moved around a great deal. Some of my interviews have gone amazing. I said all the right things. I made an amazing impression. And other times I did not so well. Okay. I mean, I've used all those things in my past to be able to inform myself on how I would do things going forward. You always want to learn from any sort of mistakes. I mean, the worst interview I ever had was with Amazon. Amazon was looking for someone to run a distribution center down in Lexington, Kentucky. Okay. They were a very small company at the time. We're talking 1991. And I was like, Amazon, what the heck is that? And so I didn't really prepare for it. I didn't really know that much about the company. I mean, I'm going to provide you guys with all sorts of information about St. Elizabeth Healthcare, so you can talk about what it is they bring to the table, okay? Because you all need to be able to demonstrate that you know things about St. Elizabeth. You have X number of campuses. You have approximately so-and-so number of people. You get to say, well, in looking at your website, you say those sorts of things, they'll say, oh, this person in front of me, they've done research on us. Check, that's good, okay? But I didn't take it very seriously, and I wasn't very prepared. I was still employed at one place. I just shut my door. I was doing an interview. I had somebody that worked for me come in, and they interrupted me. And the person on the other end of the line, they said, obviously, we're not interested in you. And I'm like saying, I'm sorry, and no big deal. But in retrospect, I mean, what would my life have been if I'd have been in 1991 working for Amazon and stuck around at a company that grew and grew and grew and grew? So, I mean, you never know. I mean, at the very least, you're interviewing for the potential experience. At the very most, maybe this is a place to get some sort of a part-time job as you continue your studies. If you decide that post high school graduation, you don't want to continue to study or continue to go to school, or maybe not right away, it's very possible that you might be able to secure a position, or at least be at the very top of the hiring stack, because they're going to be able to take you for a test drive. They're going to see what sort of person you are, and they're going to be able to see, are you going to be somebody that we want to hire? Okay, are you going to be somebody that I want to keep around, that is, I'm going to make sure is not going to blow up in my face if I hire? Okay, so I think that I think that's just a lot of positives. Yeah, I'm good. I'm totally fine with it. We'll be back after. Yeah. Oh, you didn't want to be on camera, did you? Oh, darn it. Okay. Yeah, people think I'm just not even talking to anybody. Okay, so anyway, and again, if you guys have lunch coming up, just peel out whenever needed, okay? But yeah, I mean, I think that I think that there's there's definitely a lot of potential. So be ready for it. And I'm going to try and expose you to as much as possible. I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, the young people that are in my logistics class, I mean, the last 2 weeks, I've been forcing them to do nothing but interview stuff. I mean, I put them in front of several teachers that they have no idea who they were. I stuck them in a small room. I gave them a list of questions and I had them grill them. I videotaped them. I told them how much they stunk. And then I did it to them again a week later and they actually got better. Okay. You guys, it's crunch time. Okay. I'll try to pass along what I know and some things to be thinking about. But really, an interview is an opportunity for you to be talking about yourself. Most people, they don't like doing interviews. Okay. People doing the interviews, they don't like it. The individuals that do like or the individuals that have to do the questioning, they don't like it either. Okay. Nobody likes doing them because it's oftentimes kind of a bother. I mean, if you're looking to hire somebody, you're generally short-staffed somewhere. So that's the way it is with most people. And St. Elizabeth is a little bit different with this internship program. I mean, they really work well with the interns. They give them feedback. They listen to the interns if they have concerns. I mean, it's a great opportunity. Okay, I want every single one of you to get the position. Okay, you're not only competing against people that, and when I say compete, I mean this is a competition. Okay, this is a competition. Okay, later in life it'll be a competition to get a job, to be able to pay bills. I mean, make car payments, etc. But right now you're trying to get something for experience that you can use and mention in the coming years. Okay, that'll always be a feather in your cap, whether you think whatever you did for St. Elizabeth is great or not so great. Okay, but it's a great opportunity, and we'll try and throw as much stuff out there to you as possible. So, I mean, I've got background in it. Again, do I have all the answers? No, but I'll at least pass along a lot of things that I think are worthwhile. You guys have a lot of things that are working for you, and that most important thing is Mr. Bryson. I don't know, how many of you are familiar with Mr. Bryson? I mean, those of you that have taken any sort of biomed, pre-nursing type classes over here, he's the guy that sits in kind of this corner office over there. Do you have any reason to, you know him?
I mean, I've spoken to him and I've visited his
Okay,
office.
so you've seen, okay. Yeah, I would tell all of you, if you don't know him, or even if you do know him, just say that I'm one of the individuals that's got an interview with St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Just wanted to introduce myself, and then you can peel off. But again, he's somebody that is experienced in working with St. Elizabeth. He will actually be sitting in on all of your interviews, and he won't say anything during the interviews. He'll be sitting in the corner taking notes. But at the same time, over time, while taking notes over many years, has found a number of questions that are repetitive. Now, I would not, as attractive as it is for me to just work those types of questions, I'm a little concerned. I mean, things have changed a lot in the past year with COVID. I mean, hiring has changed, jobs have changed so much that I almost think that maybe things will be different. Maybe they find that what previously worked isn't working anymore, and they want to change things up a little bit because it's just different now. I don't know. So in addition to giving you all of the questions that Mr. Bryson says are very common, okay, these are things that I'll publish on Remind today. I'd encourage you to take a look at them tomorrow. If you're able to meet with me, we'll be practicing those questions. If you're not able to meet with me tomorrow, we can one-off on those types of questions at a later time, or maybe there's other people that want to go over them again or do things like that. And I'll give you some feedback on some of the things on what they might be looking for. But we're going to go over those questions tomorrow. So today, a lot of it will be me talking, maybe mention a couple things, find out a little bit about yourself, some of the things that you've done, some of the things that you haven't done. But the interview, that's the opportunity for you to talk about yourself, okay? It's the opportunity for you to be able to show the individual that is looking at you that you are somebody that they could envision working in their organization. Okay, that's what you are trying to do. I said, I think I said earlier that you just want to make sure that when they hire you, that you don't blow up in their face. Okay, they want to make a good hire. Nobody wants to hire the person that plays on their phone, doesn't do anything, doesn't really care. They don't want to hire that person because that reflects poorly on them. Okay, there's a good chance that the people that you're talking to could very well be the direct supervisor for the position that you're going to be working with. Okay, and it'll be extremely important to make a good impression on that person. A little bit of background about the format of the interview. Okay, it's something known as a panel interview. Okay, now in my mind, my experience is a panel interview is basically you guys, all four of you would be the interview, and all of you would be taking turns hammering me with questions. Okay, that is my idea of a panel interview. St. Elizabeth, because there's only so much resource-wise. I mean, these people that you're talking to, their time is valuable. Whether they're in the operation, whether they're in the human resources department, whatever they're doing, their time is valuable. So they can't spend endless amounts of time. So what they have done is, in addition to having four interviewers, there's probably going to be four other individuals that are going to be right here with you. Okay, it may be individuals from Ignite. Okay, it may be people, it might be someone from Notre Dame Academy, it might be somebody from St. Henry, it might be somebody from Scott, it might be somebody from Dixie, it might be somebody from Beechwood. I mean, these are all positions that are open to individuals in Northern Kentucky, and it is a competition. Okay, you want to be able to express as well as you possibly can that you are going to be that good fit. Okay. And we're going to start talking about some of those things that you can kind of throw out there during the course of the interview that are going to be able to hopefully allow that to occur. Okay. Because ultimately, you want the job. Okay, nobody's got a gun to your head and is forcing you to do this. Nobody forced you to do this crazy essay that I saw. I mean, as I think I was doing something for Mr. Bryson just to help him, and he was. I mean, I saw these very long essays that you guys had written. I mean, it took a little bit of time. You did a good job on it, so you probably took a little bit of time on it. So you've already invested some time. You probably wouldn't have gotten this far if you'd have half-assed it, I'll say. Okay, so as far as where you're at right now, you've definitely made the first cut. Okay, but again, you got to see it all the way through and ultimately get the position, because there's a lot of positives. So you got this panel interview. I'm going to tell you, I've never been in some sort of a panel interview where there's 4-on-4 or 3-on-4 or 5-on-4 or whatever the numbers are. I would recommend to you, don't be the first person to blurt out the answers. Now, you might think, and this would seem logical to me, but Mr. Bryson says it isn't the case. If I was doing it, I would say, okay, you're going to start, and then the second question, you're going to start, and then the third question, you're going to start. No, what they do is they just throw it out to anybody, and then people just answer the questions, okay? It would be my, I mean, unless they've changed, it would be my suggestion to maybe not be the first person to answer. Okay, now if it starts to become awkward, then maybe you're going to have to step up a couple of times or one time, whatever the case. Okay, maybe you're going to have to do that. But almost undoubtedly, there's going to be somebody who is red hot and they're on fire, and they're just going to take that. They're just going to be the first person They see it as an advantage that they're going to be the first to answer the show, that they have got what it takes and they are just going to charge hard and they're going to be the first to answer every single question. Fine. Okay. What I encourage all of you to do is to be very thoughtful in your answers. A lot of times anymore, you don't find yourself doing a ton of writing. I'm going to encourage all of you to take something with you to be able to jot something down. If they say the question, be able to jot it down super fast. And then at that point, stare at the question. Don't look up. Doodle if you have to. Make it look like you're doing something. If nothing else, it will make you look studious, very focused. It's going to make you look as though you are preparing yourself to give a good answer. Now, hopefully, the answer that you come up with is going to be a good one, okay? But I will say that if with all of my seniors that I just had do interviews in the month of December, okay, all of my students that went through these things, these are all ones that, I mean, they don't remember anything about what happened in their interviews. They don't remember anything. Okay. Chris, is somebody coming? Okay. Anyway, but it's very common for an individual to be so focused that they don't remember anything that just occurred in like the previous 20, 30 minutes during that interview. Okay. And it's also very common for individuals to forget the question. That's okay to ask to repeat the question. Totally fine, especially if you're the last person answering. But if you write down the question and are paying attention and trying to figure out a good answer, okay, and once you've got something that you can say, you've jotted down maybe a couple blurbs or you can think of a couple things to organize your thoughts, great. Okay, then you can start to look around and listen and nod your head. I mean, body language will be important, okay? Don't you dare roll your eyes at someone else's lame answer that they're giving. If somebody is stumbling, don't look at them. Don't show the pain that you feel listening to them stumble in their answer. It's definitely, yeah, the body language will be very important. And I am oftentimes the person to oftentimes just be looking at individuals to see how they react. Because you can a lot of times tell a lot about a person on how they react to certain things, especially when someone else is talking to them. You might hear some really rough answers. Rough. They might totally blow the question. They might be giving answers for something that makes no sense at all. Okay. Try your hardest not to react to the pain that you feel for them. Okay. So, that's something that I haven't even thought about could occur. So, just cage your eyes. If you can kind of nod along, just aimlessly staring off into space, fine, do that. Be thinking about your answer and your turn when it comes. Okay. But jotting something down, it shows an image that you are engaged, you know what's going on, and it just shows that you're prepared. And then it also gives you an opportunity to kind of get into your quiet space. If you immediately start listening to the person two down from you doing their answer, you're not really paying attention to what you're going to say, because you're definitely going to have things that you're going to want to say about yourself that is going to make you that person that they want to hire. Okay. It would make me no happier than for you guys to do extremely well. Okay, the same reason that the interviewer wants to make the right hire. I love to see individuals from this school succeed, and I think that you guys have every reason to think that you will succeed. But you got a lot of other people right now that are thinking they've got just as equal of a shot as well as you. Okay, so don't take anything for granted. There's not going to be any sort of bearing as to whether or not you are interviewing in the front of the window. Okay. They're going to go through all of the interviews, and then they're going to After you get done talking, they'll talk about it as a group, make notes, and then they move on to the next batch of individuals 5-10 minutes later. Okay. At the very end, they start to compare their notes and talk about individuals. After all of the interviewing process is done, they make decisions, and then boom, they're not going to have on-the-spot job offers. They're not going to get back to you the next day. Last interview session, unless some of you are doing stuff that are specifically, are you doing computer science? Okay, maybe all of the computer science slots will be done by a certain day. So maybe they might do something, but I think the vast majority of the decisions will be made when all of the interviews are done, sometime after the 24th. Okay, so I mean, just so you want to give good answers. Just don't hesitate to just be really, just take your time. Take your time. Give a good answer. I mean, yeah, you might blow up an answer, but if the vast majority of your answers can be good, thoughtful, organized, you're going to be fine. Okay. There are going to be a lot of people that are very nervous. There are a lot of people that can write a whiz-bang essay and can't do, I mean, they're going to be challenged on doing some other things. Okay. Interviewing is something that you have to be confident about talking about yourself. You're not bragging. You are not being boastful. You are talking about yourself. As much as I would love to think that you would talk about Logan and what an amazing person he would be for this job, Logan is by far the best candidate. You need to hire this guy. I'm good, but this guy no, he's not going to talk about you, Logan. Okay. It's all up to you to throw it out there and make sure that you are getting your point across, that you are that white hot person that they need to hire. Okay. And you're going to do that by inserting little things here and there that are really going to talk a great deal about what you bring to the table. Okay. Now, have any of you ever had a job? Had a job? A job? A job? Okay. Now, I mean, with my little exercise here with my students in logistics and doing my little mock interview stuff, I mean, jobs are not the be all end all. Okay. Jobs are helpful. Jobs mean something to an employer, but there are lots of other things that even people that have had jobs, there are other activities that you have done. There are experiences. There are things in your private life, your personal interests, activities. There's all sorts of things that are relevant, that are going to go beyond probably what the first question will be. Okay. I guarantee you the first question, I mean, they're going to go in and they'll talk very briefly about themselves. They'll talk maybe 30, 40 seconds about who they are, and then they'll go over to the next person. They'll go to the next person. But then they'll say, Logan, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Okay. That's probably not the point in time where you're going to start talking about how wonderful you are. That comes later. Okay. But you're going to want to give a nice, general, concise answer. I'm guaranteeing you, I'm almost sure that's a question that's going to get thrown out to you first. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Okay. Don't let it surprise you. Prepare for it. Know that it's coming. Be able to talk about yourself for 30, 40 seconds. Okay. Talk about general things. You're not going to talk about, and I'm a very hardworking and dedicated, and I'm the sort of person that's very driven. Okay. Yeah, that's all fine and good. Okay. Those are all things that are great in inserting in other types of questions that are posed to you, where you really start to hammer on those positive qualities that each and every one of you may have. Logan, what sort of job have you had?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What sort of job have you had?
I worked in a nursing home for 2 years, so I could talk about like my medical experience and how I really enjoyed helping people.
Okay, so I mean, there was definitely perhaps some things that are focused specific. I mean, medical related. I don't know if you're responsible for, I don't know, medication or verifying sorts of things or record keeping Or, I mean, obviously, if you're doing, I mean, was there medication involved?
No, I was dietary, so I served in plated food.
Okay, so I mean, let's try to expand on that. I mean, yeah, if you're saying yeah, you served and plated food, um, there were probably dietary constraints that individuals had, and you were probably responsible for perhaps delivering some of the stuff to make sure that the right people got the right stuff. I mean, there's stuff like attentiveness to detail. There's organization involved. I mean, the fact that you have worked, or that previously, or you still are.
Previously.
Okay, so I mean, I would say yeah, I mean, I would throw out something that I've worked at a nursing home. I worked there for almost 2 years. I mean, the fact that 2 years is, I mean, that's a long time, especially for young people. I mean, oftentimes the image of young people is job, 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 job. So good on the job, good on the experience and the fact that you stuck around, good on the fact that, I mean, it requires organization, it requires attentive to detail, it requires obviously learning a process, following a process. I mean, you give the wrong food to someone, I'm sure they'd love it, but it might not necessarily be good for them. I don't know. I mean, only you know some of the things, but really start to dig into those sorts of things. What kind of skills could that job that seems kind of mundane, kind of boring, but I mean, you can touch on that there were a lot of medical types of things. I mean, yeah, again, um, again, you got to say it. You got to say it, okay? Nobody will snicker. If they do, that'll be a strike against them. But I mean, talk yourself up. You got to do it, okay? What you bring to the table, okay? How about you? I did not write your name down. What is your name?
I'm Ethan Weaver.
There you are. And no, you are an in person. And did you join the Remind?
I don't believe I did.
Okay, I did not. I don't have that down yet. Okay, so let's just make sure we get you squared away on that. Okay. Okay. So.
Like, was it in like?
Tell me about your
email,
job.
or was it?
It would have come to you in a text message.
Yeah, I don't know if I got one.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll have to check, but.
I mean, what's your name?
Thomas.
Ah, yes. Kenzie Mosea. Okay, so let's see. So, I mean, really, I think that. Okay, so tell me about your job.
I'm a cashier at Kroger, so.
Okay, let's see. So, obviously, you work with a wide variety of people. Wide variety of people. Okay, it's important for you to be very detail oriented. I mean, make sure you're not handing out the wrong money. I want everybody to just be listening, to be thinking about things that they can be digging into. I mean, more like traits, qualities, characteristics. So you deal with lots of different people. You're attentive to detail oriented type of stuff. I mean, you probably have to, I mean, there are obviously procedures. I mean, what else can we talk about?
I mean, I deal with like you said, a wide variety of people.
Okay.
I have to make sure that they are always, satisfied with like how I was and like how their experience was.
Yep.
So, and just making sure that everything that they have is correct. And
that's right. I mean, you make a mistake on somebody's order, you scan, I mean, they order 10 of some things and you ring them up for 11.
Yeah.
God help you if they catch it. I mean, they're not going to be happy. They're not going to be happy with Kroger. They're not going to be happy with you. They're going to be raising their voice. I mean, even if I get shorted or if I get wrongly charged for something, I mean, I hate to say it, money is money. And even if it's only a buck or two, I mean, I hate to say it, I'm going to bring it up. And I mean, that's just something that you've got to try and avoid. So, I mean, again, traits that, I mean, again, I'm a Kroger cashier. Well, I hate to say it, you are the frontline person that almost anybody at Kroger is going to see. They may not talk to any other blessed person at Kroger, but they see you. You have to talk to them, you engage them. I mean, one thing I want everybody to think about this, St. Elizabeth is a service company, okay? They don't make anything. They don't manufacture anything, okay? You can get the exact same service somewhere else. You might have to hop in a car, go to Cincinnati, where there's lots of different hospitals, in Northern Kentucky, St. Elizabeth, but I mean, slowly other hospitals are starting to make toeholds. I mean, St. Elizabeth is trying to keep them out, but I mean, one of the things, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm almost sure that in their corporate, not their corporate motto, but their values as a company, St. Elizabeth Healthcare. I mean, somewhere in there is probably patient care and customer service. Okay. Whether you're going to be working in a lab or whether you are more focused with if you're in IT, if you're going to be helping individuals with issues. I mean, I hate to say it, you're going to be in contact, whether you're serving individuals within the organization or you're going to be facing people that are inside the hospital. You have to be the sort of person that they envision could, if they were stuck in an elevator and someone was lost and they asked you a question, could you give them a satisfactory answer? If you don't know the answer, would you find somebody that could help them? Or would you grunt at them? Or could you portray an image where you could be friendly? Okay, I mean, it's tough when you got these masks on, okay? It's tough, you don't see the facial expressions. I mean, I hate to say it, I'm going to encourage all of you to, when I start giving you questions to practice or think about your answers, I mean, I'm going to want you to, videotape yourself. Am I able to somehow express, am I able to express some sort of emotion? I mean, how do I look? I mean, these masks are horrible. They're horrible. I mean, the human face expresses a ton. And you can very easily make a decision that somebody could be very friendly. Okay. But what you've got now is you've got a voice. Okay. A lot of my students, I got on their case because they have very monotone voices. Okay. And even as I say monotone voices, my voice has changed. Where I got a couple of my kids, they're like, monotone voices. Okay. You've got a very short period of time to sell yourself. Okay. You want to put that best foot forward. You want to be able to, if you're not saying it, you want to be able with your body language, your voice, your facial expressions that they can see. You want to be able to put that forward. Okay. What kind of experience have you ever had?
I worked at the pool in the summer, and I worked for the front desk and concession stand as well. So it's kind of similar.
Okay, again, organizational types of skills. Orders being prepared. I had to work at a computer terminal, and I don't know if you scanned people in or you check marked them in, whatever the case. You greeted individuals, although sometimes people at pools, they just kind of, hey, what's up? Wander on by. Okay, you want to make sure that that's not you. I had to greeted the individuals. Point blank say it, because maybe some people have an idea of what the guy working at the front pool desk does, and that they don't really care. They're listening to music, they're reading a book, they're playing on their phone. You want to point blank say that I had to greet the individuals, I verified this. I really enjoy. I hate to say it. One thing, and if you can say this even remotely. Okay, if you enjoy working with people, even small bits, say it. Say it. Okay. I hate to say it. I've hired a lot of people that work in information technology that were absolutely brilliant. They had the personality of a mop. They did not work well with people. And I always went out of my way to try and find somebody that I could see could be helpful to me, not only knowledgeable, but could be helpful. Okay. And look, I don't think that's the case with you, but I hate to say it, you could probably think of some individuals in computer science that might very well be like that.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
We can.
So, I mean, being able to really, if you can say something about customer service, that's what St. Elizabeth is about. If you can somewhere work that in, that you like people. I like to work with people. I work with lots of different people. I see lots of people come and go. Okay, I enjoy delivering meals to so-and-so every single day. I would check in on them. Okay, I mean, stuff like that. Okay, tell me something.
So while I haven't had any work experience because I've been very focused on academics, I have been a part of the robotics team for 9 years.
Okay.
And through that, we're also very focused on helping the community. And so, especially this summer, we 3D printed face mask straps
Okay.
for masks, and we distributed them to local hospitals. I'm gonna double check this, but I'm fairly certain St. Elizabeth is one of them.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So, a couple of things in terms of that experience with the robotics team. Okay. Obviously, if you're doing that, I mean, it's a certain type of person that is wired to want to do something like that. It obviously interests you. It requires a great deal of knowledge, I'm sure, to be able to make the robot go forward instead of backwards, and a whole host of other things. I mean, a great deal of knowledge. It shows that you've been able to hopefully amass a great deal of knowledge about that. I mean, obviously, you said robotics team. Okay, I mean, any sort of sport involvement. I mean, I hate to say it. Oftentimes, individuals in sports are able to throw out all sorts of things that just check off all sorts of boxes for employers because, I mean, there's that teamwork aspect of it. I mean, delegating, separating things, certain people doing certain tasks, working together towards the common goal, all that good stuff. I mean, those are all things that you would say, I've done with the robotics team. You throw out something that you've done. I mean, the community service aspect of it. I mean, that's a good thing to mention. I mean, but again, it's just all stuff that you think about what you've done, and you think about things that you can pull out that are going to be good to needle in a little bit later to get that into the actual context of the interview. Okay, sometimes it might take a little bit of work, and again, you guys gotta go. Okay, I see people looking. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, I mean, you're looking for things that you can identify and then throw in there. But customer service, working with people, even if you're going to end up in some sort of laboratory, and you're maybe not going to be in contact with people, I'd still say, hey, enjoy working with people. I mean, any sort of job anymore, you have to be able to work with individuals. If it's a small group of individuals, or you got a whole flood of people coming at you, whatever the case, you need to be able to work with people, work with different people. Say you like to work with people, bang, that's great. Okay, there's probably a box on a piece of paper. They'll probably say something like, I don't want you to think anything is wrong if I'm writing stuff down while you're talking. I'm listening. I'm sure they'll say something like that. But they probably have these forms that have the question, a box that they write down the response, maybe a couple things that have to get check marked in. Okay. Don't be surprised if you see them jotting stuff down. Don't let that freak you out. I mean, that's what they probably do. Tell me something.
Okay, so I have worked as a volunteer at Milestones for the past 2 years. So through that, I get experience helping.
Tell me what that was. Milestones Inc.
Yeah, it's a therapeutic equestrian center.
Oh.
So I get to help.
Make sure you say, just kind of be ready to be. I would just say, work for Milestones Inc. That's a therapeutic. Just immediately go into it. Okay.
Right. And so they help people of all different ages with all different disabilities learn how to ride horses. I have served as an ambassador on the Go Pantry Ambassador Council for 1 year before being promoted to the junior board, which I currently serve on and will serve on next year. I worked at Chicken Salad Chick for 3 months before getting a job closer to home at Big Feed, and I currently work there.
Okay. So you sit next to, I mean, you're stuck in the interview and you hear this young lady, she's just rattling off all this good stuff, and that's great. There is lots of good stuff for her to be able to throw out later. Okay? There's lots of good stuff that she can be throwing out there. Okay? Will she throw it out there? I don't know. But you guys can all be equally successful, if not more successful, with less. Okay? As long as you realize what those positions were giving you, what they, what sort of traits you as a person have because of some of those experiences, it's going to be very important. I mean, in terms of you, I mean, you've got obviously, I mean, volunteering type of work, working with lots of different types of people. I mean, again, that's probably the perfect place for you to say, I enjoy working with people, and a lot of the stuff that I do is people related. I mean, any of you, I mean, like I said, even if it's just a small amount, enjoy working with people, throw it in there. Okay, throw it in there because they're a service company. People got to be happy with what they get, even if you are not the first person they're expecting to have contact with their person, but you might. So they're not going to hire people that aren't going to possibly be able to do that customer service at the very least. So, I mean, you've got lots of good stuff to be talking about. I mean, leadership type of stuff. I mean, there's plenty there. Okay, it's just a matter of being able to not only mention it, okay, and the reason why I talk about mentioning it, I mean, they're going to talk about themselves. You're going to talk about you. I mean, they're gonna force you. They're going to say, "What is? Tell me a little bit about yourself." I mean, these are all things that you've just told me right now that are going to be great in mentioning about yourself, whether it's activities, volunteer, paid or otherwise, sports, jobs, interests. I mean, if you like doing certain things, I really enjoy reading books. I enjoy hanging out with friends. I mean, you guys are young people. You're going to say, I mean, you're not going to be the type of person such as myself if I'm interviewing for some sort of a supply chain type of job where I'm saying, well, I'm certified in this, this, and this, and I've done this, and I've had an experience with this. It's a totally different type of response. So the types of things that interest you, the types of things that you've been exposed to, the types of jobs that you've had, the types of activities you've been involved with, these are all fair game. Okay, so you mention them during, tell me a little bit about yourself. I mean, you can go into great depth and talk about this, but they don't really care about tell me about yourself. Yeah, they'll listen to it. I mean, they see that as kind of an ice-breaking type of question, and some things that you mention, they might be interested in probing a little bit about it. I mean, but it tells them the sort of person that you are. So, I mean, if you have a particular interest in whether it be computers, whether it be medicine, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I've told you that Mr. Bryson has these questions. I'm going to put them up there.
How many people are going to be at the interview?
I think that it is going to be a panel of 4 or so, and then there'll be 3, 4, maybe 5 other individuals. Okay, again, don't be that first person to answer the question, as opposed to just going right on down the line. As I said, I mean, you can be the first person. That's fine. And if you've got a winning answer, great. Okay, but it's oftentimes good just to lay back, collect your thoughts, jot down a note, and go forward and nail it. Okay, pen and paper, I recommend. Okay, jotting the question down, staring at it, doodling if you have to, like you're doing something. Okay. Early. So anyway, let's see. So yeah, I mean, tomorrow, we're definitely going to have you guys answering questions. Okay. I'm going to publish these Chris Bryson questions that he sees as being ones that are common throughout the years. And again, it's no big deal that we're going to look at them. I'm just concerned that maybe something's changed, but I would definitely make sure you got answers to those. I think it'd be negligent not to, but we're also going to go into other things that are going to help you come up with decent answers for things that are more common in interview questions that are broader, that would give you a little bit of an idea on how to answer something that you haven't been expecting. Okay. Again, whatever they ask you, I mean, sometimes they just go off on the left field. I mean, I hate to say it. Sometimes I've had interviews where I'm talking to some guy and I say something, he just gets all focused on that and he starts talking about it. I'm like trying to get the interview back over here talking about me, and he's talking about this, and that really interests him. But anyway, I mean, this is going to be a non-threatening type of interview. Okay. It's an interview where they are interviewing exclusively young people. They don't want to see young people fold in front of them. If you start to stumble, I'm sure they will be there to catch you. Okay. I'm sure if you give them a very short answer, they will try their very best to suck the answer out of you and give you that leg to stand on. Okay. It's not bad if they ask you a follow-up question, but again, try to talk and really tell a story as you're talking, okay? Because again, nobody else is going to talk you up except you, okay? Don't hesitate to talk about yourself. You guys have a lot to offer a potential employer, and you need to just be able to make sure that it's coming out of your mouth and that they hear it. Okay, it's not going to be a terribly long period of time. Like I said, these people, they have jobs other than nonstop interviewing high school students. So I'll tell you that these people, probably in this whole group, I mean, if they spend, I mean, they've got blocks of 30-minute times, as you see. Okay, there's going to be a wave of individuals that come in. They're going to pepper them with questions. Everybody answers the questions. They spend 5 minutes digesting, talking a little bit about it. Then it's up next. You guys leave. Okay. Always say thank you. Always say pleased to meet you. I don't know, the whole handshaking thing. I mean, and sometimes I find myself, oh, pleased to meet you. I do something like that. I got that from somebody that used to work for me that was like a germaphobe. He used to say, oh, pleased to meet you. He was like doing the handshake for me. I was like, what? Okay. But I mean, I don't know what it is, elbow bump or no, you're good. I don't know what it's going to be, but I mean, definitely convey I mean, one of the things that you got to do, you just want to convey your interest in the position. St. Elizabeth is the greatest thing. I'm going to give you all sorts of information on St. Elizabeth that you can read up on, stuff that that'll show that you've done research. I'll just give it to you. You can do it on your own, but I'm going to give it to you anyway, and find out all sorts of stuff about St. Elizabeth. I mean, I'm probably just going to give you general type of stuff, but if you want to dig in on their website, every single employer, including St. Elizabeth, they got websites that just go deeper and deeper and deeper. You can just keep digging. But it always is very helpful with that information that I give you to be able to spout it out during the course of the interview, because A, that shows that you've done the research, B, that you're interested, and that C, that you've gone above and beyond someone who's just sitting in front of them that may or may not have taken the time to do that. Okay, but again, I'm going to make sure that you have it at your availability, and if you are able to invoke the words, well, on your website it said, check mark, thumbs up, or well, I saw on one of your web pages, I think it said something like, and you kind of act like you're thinking about it. Yeah, didn't it say that you have like 7 campuses in various parts of Northern Kentucky? I mean, you say stuff like that, that'll just impress them. Okay, so I'm going to push out those questions at some point today. It'll be probably sometime after 2 o'clock. Just be looking for those. Remind on, if you ever look at Remind on a computer, I don't know how it is on the mobile app, but there's a place where there are files and links to meetings and anything that I've ever posted with a file on there, it shows up there. So I think it just automatically dumps there, but I'll put that on there so you won't have to be scrolling through to find those questions if you want to look at them tonight. And then again, after 2 or 3 days of Remind crap that I've sent you. Okay, so, okay. Again, I'm going to be here tomorrow. Same times. If you're available to come, that's fine. I also pushed out times that if you can't physically make it, that's fine. I more than understand that. I mean, everybody's on kind of a different schedule. Different colleges are all different. So I'll just tell you, I will at least video one of the sessions that I have. And yeah, at the very least that you'll be able to watch that and see what we discussed. Okay.
Mr. Skeen, is it possible for me to come at 12 and participate in your virtual in-person? Because I have classes during all 3 of your in-person meetings.
That's fine. I just don't want you guys to shortchange any of your classes. Okay, I think this is worthwhile, but again, your number one job right now is of an academic one. Okay,
yes, sir.
So just make sure that you do that. I'm going to resend you that invite, but also to your Boone County email. Okay. Is a phone number, is a cell phone number 206-0571?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send it to both your email and to that as well.
Okay.
Okay? All right. But I'll be here.
Would it be wise, a former neighbor deals with like the IT interns? Would it be wise to reach out to them and?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, that was something that's coming up, but I mean, that is, if you know somebody that works for St. Elizabeth Healthcare, to be able to say the words, well, I was speaking to someone that works for St. Elizabeth because I was trying to find more, bless you, I was trying to find out more information. Bravo, check. Okay, again, above and beyond, another form of research. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be useful if that's something that you're interested in. By all means, it's great to throw that out there. If any of you do, if any of you know somebody that works for Saints, do it.
Almost everyone knows.
Yeah, geez, you're like, can't throw a dead cat without hitting somebody that works for Saints. Okay, so anyway, yeah, okay. So guys, have a good day. I may see you virtually, I may see you in person. But anyway,
Thank you.
goodbye.
Yeah.
See ya.
Good day, Mr. Skeen.
Bye-bye.